White House downplaying reports that the Taliban mastermind who helped orchestrate the Afghanistan takeover was released from Gitmo by Obama.
The administration's left to negotiate with the Taliban, including one of the commandos who was released from Guantanamo Bay as part of the Bo Bergdahl prisoner swap.
I'd point to the Department of the intelligence community to assess the identity of the individual. Our focus right now is on, again, not taking the Taliban's word for it. We are assessing, we are closely watching, and we are being very clear about the capacities and the capabilities we have at hand should they be needed.
You know she knows the answer to that. She saw no reason to answer it. That's the guy, and that's the guy we had, Khalil Kirkwa. He's a member of the Taliban 5. He was accused of being a close associate of bin Laden, was previously deemed too dangerous to be released. But we swapped him for Bo Bergdahl. The reports of his role in Afghanistan's collapse come as one of the commanders who declared victory inside Kabul, in the palace, spent 8 years in the same detention center. Here to discuss, former Gitmo Guard Army veteran Montgomery Granger. Montgomery, your reaction to this?
Yeah, it's very disturbing, Brian, and thanks for having me on again. You know, returning Gitmo detainees to the battlefield sends a message that we don't care about or acknowledge the global war on terror or those who protect us from that threat, namely our brave men and women in uniform and all who support them, including our allies. With few exceptions, these detainees were and are the worst of the worst, as labeled by our former Department of Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. You know, Brian, most people don't know that tens of thousands of unlawful combatant Islamists were captured in Afghanistan over the past nearly 20 years now, but only just under 800 were ever brought to the U.S. military detention facility at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, where I served as the ranking U.S. Army Medical Department officer with the Joint Detainee Operations Group and Task Force 160. These detainees, we've released 732 of them, and none of them have been beheaded, executed, blown up, hacked to death, dragged naked and lifeless through the streets, drowned or burned alive. All things our enemies have done to us and to our allies. And until all Islamists are dead or no longer have the means or will to kill us, we must defend ourselves by any means necessary.
You know what I think about, Montgomery? I think about the people that gave their lives to hunt these guys down and get them the first time and put them into Gitmo. And the determination for President Obama to empty Gitmo. We're down to 39 now. And we said we're going to let you out, but they promised to stay in Qatar. I'm pretty sure they broke their promise almost right away. They were hailed as heroes, and who knows what intelligence they're able to pick up. Just a little on Rouhani. He's the guy in the second picture we showed. He was called one of the very worst prisoners at Gitmo. He was there for a while, from 2002 to 2007. He was released after promising authorities he was returning to Afghanistan to, quote, care for his sick father. He said he was just a shopkeeper. He spent 4 years in the intelligence service in Kabul. You got 26 left. Montgomery, tell me if I'm wrong here. I fear that if we want our Americans back in country, they're going to say we need a few more from Gitmo out in Afghanistan if you want those arteries open and if you want that airport to be no longer ringed with Taliban fighters. What do you think?
I think if we had an America First president instead of America Last president, that would be a no-go. And I think that all those guys in Gitmo belong there. I think with few exception, most of them should still be in there. You know, after World War II, the U.S. held over 400,000 lawful combatants, mostly Germans, and we didn't have to have any charges or trials for them. The Geneva Convention says we can hold them until the end of hostilities, and that's exactly what we did.
Yep, and it's not over, even though America and most people would want it over. Montgomery Granger, I know it's frustrating for you as an Army veteran and former Gitmo Guard. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.